These are the stories topping the news. Independence Street Market coming soon. Nigerian students quarantined for failing to prove Ebola status in St. Vincent. And Philippine militants threaten to kill German hostages. Good afternoon and welcome to ZIZ's Midday Newscast for today, Thursday, September 25th, 2014. I am JD Keynes. And now for the news in detail. The countdown is on to 48 hours of non-stop excitement in the capital city of Bastia when the Independence Committee presents Independence Street Market. The Independence Street Market is expected to be one of the biggest activities on the Independence 31 calendar and will be staged from 6 a.m. on Friday, September 26th until 6 a.m. on Sunday, September 28th. According to the organizing committee, tents will be sectioned off according to specialty. Among the divisions will be agro-processors, produce and entertainment. There will also be a food court and clothing stalls. The Independence Street Market will stretch from Liverpool Row to Bank Street and will feature local DJs and artists who will entertain the masses for the entire time. The organizing committee, which includes employees of the Department of Constituency Empowerment and the Ministry of Agriculture, has confirmed that two Jamaican reggae acts, Busy Signal and Queen Africa, will perform on Saturday night. The country's Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, and his team of ministers will not be distracted by those who oppose them. So said Dr. Douglas during this week's edition of Ask the Prime Minister. He reminded listeners that under his leadership, St. Kitts Nevis has made considerable economic strides. He pledged to continue working in the best interests of the country and its people.
St. Kitts Nevis, listeners, now leads the region on a number of key metrics, and maintaining this lead will take continued hard work and continued focus. Protecting the interests of St. Kitts and Nevis and taking on the rigorous demands that entails is what this government chooses to focus on. That is why we were elected, and that is what we have proven time and time again that we do.
Ask the Prime Minister is weekly on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. It allows listeners to receive updates from the nation's leader and ask questions of him. The Nigerian Students Association Windsor chapter is making a name for itself in the Federation, as most recently an outstanding drama named Azara was put on at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. Member of the association Hilda Affairs, who is also the producer of the play, spoke with ZIZ News about the thought process behind producing a play of this kind.
The show was done to showcase the rich Nigerian culture and to bring a live theater experience to St. Kitts, because it's something that's very different and it's never been done, so we thought about bringing something new to the table as compared to something else. And then also we wanted to showcase a part of our industry, which is Nollywood from Nigeria. We wanted to bring forth that, and since a lot of Kittitians are fans of it, we wanted to bring that into light here, and they've been wanting to see a movie, so we really wanted to bring that experience.
Affairs said it is important for students to become involved in the arts as opposed to being solely academically inclined.
I believe it's good to be well-rounded. If it's good to be, pursue your goals academically, and also have, because I believe that the skills in life, which you have, your natural talents, are the ones which will, shine forth and bring you out as a person. And also, it helps the youth to express themselves. It's a means of expressing themselves, and also to the young people, it's not always about being one-sided. It's about bringing different things into the play. It's about them discovering themselves and their talents and then using it positively.
As part of its upcoming activities, the Nigerian Students Association will celebrate Nigeria's independence next Wednesday, October 1st, at the St. Kitts Marriott Ballroom. In regional news, at least 2 Nigerian students who arrived in St. Lucia last week without medical certificates to prove that they are not infected with the deadly Ebola virus have been quarantined and will be repatriated. The Ministry of Health announced on September 1st that in order to prevent the entry of Ebola to that country, persons traveling from Guinea, Sierra Leone or Liberia, or those who have visited any of the aforementioned countries during a 28-day period will not be allowed to enter the island. The ministry also said that upon entry, a negative blood test result for Ebola should be done not more than 7 days prior to leaving their home country. The students were quarantined at an isolated apartment at a university and were visited by officials from the Ministry of Health and will remain there until a flight is available for them to be repatriated or until they are tested for the virus. In observance of International Coastal Cleanup, the Caribbean Youth Environmental Network collaborated with other social partners to clean up St. Lucia's coastlines. The cleanup exercise was done in the north and south of the island over a 2-day period. DBS's Jason Hollingshead has that story.
Clean Up the World focuses public attention on global community concerns for the environment and how each individual can make a positive contribution to a cleaner and healthier world. The organization's flagship event is the Clean Up the World Weekend, held annually during the third weekend in September.
We partnered with the Leo's Club of Castries and CYN members, and yesterday in the south we partnered with the Youth Uprising in Vieux-Fort. So they clean the south of the island and we clean the north of the island today. As an environmental group, we have to make sure that our environment is clean. So this year we decided to come to Burnham's Bay to clean the coastline, and it was very dirty, so it's a good thing that we came here. We found a lot of things that we were not expecting to find on the coastline. For example, tanks of gas, we found a lot of plastic bottles, breakable bottles.
According to officials, the cleanup initiative is critical in maintaining and paying attention to the environment. Cleanup organizers say nationals need to be more disciplined in disposing their trash.
I came out basically as an environmentalist to clean out the area to see how I could improve the coastal area, and I've seen a lot of garbage. We have no pride in our country. We litter and we do not take responsibility for the garbage, different things, the waste that we use. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of the garbage that we collected here today are not from the area. It came from the different parts of the city and flowing into the streams here and now getting onto the coast. So this says that we do not have pride in our country.
The 2-day activity, which saw participants cleaning coastlines in the island's north and south, was part of action at the local level to address global environmental issues. For the DBS News World, I am Jason Hollingshead.
Guyana's officials are searching for a 14-year-old boy who was pushed over a railing and into the Demerara River by a friend who thought he could swim. The friend who pushed the 14-year-old boy overboard is now in custody, assisting the police with the investigation. We hear more in this report.
In news coming out of the mining town of Linden, a 14-year-old boy is reported missing after he was pushed overboard by a friend. The friend who thought that the lad could swim reportedly pushed the boy into the Demerara River. That was late yesterday afternoon. His body is still to be recovered. The boy has been identified as Omar Mitchell of Half Mile Linden. According to reports, Mitchell and a group of friends were standing at the riverside on the Wisma shore when one of his friends suddenly pushed him overboard. This newscast understands that the teenager who pushed the boy overboard is in custody, assisting the police with their investigations.
Internationally, Al-Qaeda-linked militants in the Philippines threatened to kill 2 German hostages unless Germany stops supporting the U.S. action against Islamic State militants. Sarah Toms has the details.
Militant group in the southern Philippines posted these photographs of 2 German hostages it captured in April. In a message via Twitter, the Abu Sayyaf demanded a $5.6 million ransom and an end to German support for the US-led coalition against Islamic State. The group said it would either kill Stefano Konik or Henrika Dielen if their demands were not met within 15 days. Media reports say the man and woman were seized at gunpoint from a yacht between Malaysian Borneo and the southern Philippines. The Abu Sayyaf here in the jungle is a small but violent group with links to Al-Qaeda. It has lately focused on kidnap for ransom and other criminal activities, though it has also proclaimed its allegiance to IS that has seized large areas of Iraq and Syria. Despite the threats, Germany says it will not change its strategy. On Thursday, troops packed up their first shipment of weapons and military supplies to send to Kurds battling IS fighters in northern Iraq, although Germany says it has ruled out taking part in air.
Brazilian researchers have released thousands of mosquitoes infected with bacteria that suppresses dengue fever. The hope is they will multiply, breed and become the majority of mosquitoes, thus reducing cases of the disease. We hear more in this report.
A batch of mosquitoes in Brazil released into the wild. Normally people would shy away rather than crowd round, but these are special mosquitoes. Scientists from the government-backed Oswaldo Cruz Foundation have infected them with a bacteria that blocks dengue fever.
Say that in the short term, in about 2 years, we'll see a reduction in Brazil, yes, in the number of dengue cases in some places, and then in something like 5 or even 10 years, we'll study an expansion of this project in Brazil with much more concrete data. So we have to do a study as if it were a clinical study that's much broader to really show a reduction in the number of cases of dengue in a satisfactory manner.
This is just the start. Over the next 3 to 4 months, 10,000 just like these will be set loose. The hope is they will multiply, breed and become the predominant mosquito, gradually wiping out the insect's ability to spread the virus. The bacteria that's being introduced, Wolbachia, is harmless to humans. The initiative's part of a program that's taking place in Australia, Vietnam and Indonesia. The World Health Organization estimates that around 100 million people get dengue each year. It causes extreme joint pain and headaches, killing around 20,000 people every year, though it usually isn't fatal.
Now for the weather. Today's skies will be cloudy with winds blowing from the east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures will reach a high of 30 degrees and a low of 24 degrees. There is a 50% chance of showers approaching. Tomorrow's skies are also expected to be cloudy with intermittent showers in the afternoon. And that brings us to the end of ZIZ's Midday Newscast for today, Thursday. Do join us this evening when we present our major news package. I have been your presenter, Jade Keynes. Have a great day.